And he's really good, mate. It's like, wait, man, are you all right? Like, are you good? And I remember being like, I might just stand back. I think he's going to vomit. Like,
my spidey sense is
he's
tingling.
giving me that vibe. Like, there's going to be some sort, I don't know which way it's going to go. It might be on him, projectile. And I'm like, surely enough, his mate sort of like pushes him back in the chair, being like, "Oi, man, are you good?" Like, I guess jolts him. as he's jolted his mate, he's sort of just going like, "What?" And like, just projectile vomited on him. His mate's pissed. By the way, like, this guy is...
Of course.
Yeah, no, but he's like to the point where he's like, "You're a fucking wanker. Fuck you." Like, his mate...
It's Morokai with 2 eyes. We're back. We're on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. Mate, one thing that's always looked forward to at the end of the year when you're finishing your high school, you've done your exams, you've done the hard work, or you've just done a lot of sleeping in your free periods. Either way, at the end of the year, muck up day. The chance to let loose.
It's an unreal day. You're there in a costume. Everyone's actually there in a costume, so I should say. You're all dressed up, pretty much blind drunk.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time. Like, everyone's drinking at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Ready to mess up the school.
And all that. Yeah, and you're just like, you're going to cause some havoc.
Teachers just trying to control it.
I mean, and it's just like, you can't control a bunch of 18-year-olds.
Yeah, depending on where you are. But yeah, everyone starts drinking early. And we had one mate who went in a beer man costume. DUFFMAN?
DUFFMAN. Again, the classic costume. There's always one.
I still remember like the classic. Like, what, he brought actual beer, and some of us were like still a bit too goody two shoes, and we're just like, "Man, you're gonna get." He's like, "I don't give a fuck." Like, literally 5 seconds later, "Hey, excuse me, is that alcohol?" No, the cans are empty. Pour them out. Yes, sir. Puts them back in. He's like, so he's got empty beer cans.
Oh, that's so sad. I remember just rocking up to my mates and everyone's cracking like Jack Daniels and stuff like that. I've genuinely just had a bowl of Cocoa Pops before I've rocked up. I'm like, I guess I'll crack into like a Summersby cider. Mate, not good. I don't know how people can wake up and just drink straight away. Like, fair enough, if you're having kick-ons and you're going until the AM, like, yeah, like, fair. But to wake up, actually have breakfast, maybe, like, you've had peanut butter toast or... and then just get onto the bev straight. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
Man, you know what I didn't like about that morning? I am one of those guys that will leave his homework to not only the last night, the last hour, and get 10% of it done, and somehow blame other contributing factors, like, I don't know, the weather, maybe I was
didn't have any internet.
Yeah, just something. There's got to be something. So I did the same with my Muck Up Day costume. Speaking of that, I still remember to this day there was one person who talked non-stop about how they had the ultimate costume, like they were getting it ready. They've paid for things from eBay, from maybe Etsy. They were getting it all ready to go, and it was like she was doing Avatar, and I still remember when she dressed up, like sitting there, and like, you look like a fucking thing like Avatar. You shouldn't have told anyone.
I remember getting so excited because I went as a Green Power Ranger, and I swear I had the conversation with yourself.
Sorry, was that I sweat? Yes, you did.
I was very sweaty in that costume. I was very sweaty in the hole that we were in.
Yeah,
but I swear we said it's like we should go with something as a green, and I was like, mate, Power Rangers, how good would that be? I swear you were all on board. So I was like, I'm going to go as a green one. And I was only fucking Power Ranger. Fucking Stitcher.
I mean, I think I was ready to go as a Power Ranger with you in arms, and again, left it to one.
I was like, mate, I'm so keen. So you get to there, and I'm like, the fuck is he?
Man, I got there, and everyone's dressing up, and they're like, what are you going as? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. And two people were going as Smurfs, and I'm like, have you got extra, like, blue paint? And they're like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, going as a Smurf.
Yeah, my day, that was good. You always have... Do you remember the 1 year...
Sorry, the girl I was dating at the time, she was dressing up with her best friends. I think they were trying to be like a version of a fairy. And when they went to do it, they didn't have the right material, or it just didn't work out. So they pretty much went with the material they had was so bad that they looked like, you know, in the shower when you're using a loofah to wash yourself? So they just accepted that they're going as loofahs. If anyone asked them, because they failed looking like a fairy.
Oh, I think the worst part that I always hated about Muck Day is you have to like arrive to the school at like a certain time because they want you to do like a parade so everyone can like watch what people are dressed up as. I remember the one year where there was that guy, I don't know his name, but like I'll describe him to you because I think it's just massive nose. He was like really tall and he cross-dressed.
Oh,
and everyone was like, is he dressed as a chick? Because like back then it was a bit abnormal. Like, it wasn't like what it is today. And I just remember that sparked up so much conversation. There was one chick that I remembered back when METCARDs were a thing. She collected that many fucking METCARDs that she came as like the METCARD fairy. Like full like dress, like top, crown, and I was genuinely like, that's actually fucking impressive because like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, if the very young generation, obviously use MYKI now to get on your bus and your train and everything, but they used to buy a ticket and it used to be called like a METCARD ticket, and you'd put in this machine, it'd come out
and spit back out.
Oh, and in high school,
and they were paper as well.
In high school, you'd fold them up as paper and flick them across the room.
Flick them. People had like stacks and stacks on. You like flex with like all these used cards that like were useless.
It was weird.
You'd be like, look how many I have, and you'd be like, no way, they've got like 1,000.
I think even as a kid in year 7, I was like, nah, dude, you should start collecting them too. Like, get a big collection. In my head, now I look back, I'm like, why?
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's so
dumb. But again, Muck Day, it's just a day you look forward to. Usually the teachers are a bit like not obviously drinking with you, but like they're happy to like let loose a little bit because they're like, you've worked so hard throughout the year. But the best part of Muck Day that everyone's looking forward to is the Muck Day after party.
Where you can actually let loose. You just, again, getting just hammered at this point, like to the point where you can't walk. And then for the ones who actually turned 18 during the year, not me, you could then actually go out to a nightclub. I didn't get to experience that. I ruined that experience for one of it. Me, my mate, and our girlfriends went out. And being in a relationship, I went out, and the minute I got there, everyone knows this when you're in a relationship. The minute you get to the club, you get there and like, why the fuck am I here? Like, why am I actually here? So he wanted to have fun and dance and, just drink a lot. And we were both upstairs at the couch, just like, I want to go home. I should have just bit the bullet and just tried to have some fun.
So, our after party was a bit crazy. I remember just getting like hammered and all that. You're just talking shit with like your mates and whatnot. I remember trying to go for a 3-way kiss, only to then get like one of the chicks ended up getting. Oh, by the way, I didn't know that she was in a relationship, but one of the people like, no, you're in a relationship, don't do it. So I was like, oh fuck, but whatever, that's fine.
I remember one of the really nerdy kind of outcast girls was drunk off her face going nuts, like to a point where it had spread throughout everyone that, oh my God, there's going to be stories told forever.
Oh shit,
Did she like pull down her pants in front of all the girls in like the bathroom and was like, look at my like, everyone's like, we are not close like that.
I didn't know you were so chill. There was a chick who like got thrown in the pool and her head just missed the edge of the pool. I thought she died. Like, I'll be honest. Like one of those,
I remember hearing about
one of those things where like you would see it on like a YouTube, and it's like one of those like ones where you're like, oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Too close.
That happened. My favourite story of the whole thing is there was like this. I would say he was a nerdier guy, and all that. And I just remember like sort of chatting with him and all that, and being like, "Fuck, he looks pretty fucking pale. Like, I actually think he might vomit." And I sort of just remember being like, wait, mate, like you, like sort of touching him, and be like, dude, you like good. He's like, oh, like rocking back and forth. I'm like, fuck, he's fucked. Like he's not on planet Earth, that's for sure. And he's really good, mate. It's like, wait, man, are you all right? Like, are you good? And I remember being like, I might just stand back. I think he's gonna vomit. Like
his spidey senses.
He's giving me that vibe. Like there's gonna be some sort. I don't know which way it's gonna go. It might be on him, projectile. And like, surely enough, his mate sort of like pushes him back in the chair, being like, "Oi, man, are you good?" Like I guess jolts him. as he's jolted his mate, he's sort of just going like, "What?" And like just projectile vomited on him. His mate's pissed. By the way, like this guy is, but he's like to the point where he's like, "You're a fucking wanker, fuck you!" Like his mate's out of it. I'm crying at this stage. So I'm like, oh my fucking God, there's no fucking way. I didn't realise it until like months later. This guy got drug fucked. Like,
Oh,
someone spiked his drink.
Really?
Yeah, this guy thought it'd be funny to spike this guy's drink.
What kind of person
and all that?
does
Not
that?
funny, by the way. Never ever do that. I cannot stress that enough. But it did create for quite a funny story. So, like,
but
definitely don't do it.
it.
I know, like, the after party was just crazy. And then, I just remember getting to the point where I was like, I've had a bit of fun now. Like, I'm pretty
done.
pretty keen to go home.
My favourite story from it was one of our old good mates. He was in a long-term relationship.
Oh, I forgot all about it.
Mate, do you know he
listens to the podcast.
Yeah, he's a boy. It was a nice message we got, but he was in a long-term relationship, and for better or worse, the girl, I don't know, I just wasn't the biggest
after
fan.
party was at her place too.
Yeah, and I don't know, like we didn't mesh.
Yeah,
and I wasn't the biggest fan, and every time I'd hear some type of story from the relationship, I would kind of sit back and be like, she's kind of a shit girlfriend, I reckon. Like, this bloke's a pretty good bloke.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, I was like, he's pretty great. You're not going to get anything bad from him. Like, he's pretty loyal. He's a funny dude.
Oh, bloody oath.
So I was a bit like, I think as a friend, a bit defensive too. So when that
most definitely, as you would be.
And then they ended, and he was pretty hurt by it. Like, he was pretty down in the dumps. It was a pretty important relationship for him. Anyway, something that just always fucked me up. It literally fucked me up. I couldn't fathom it. There was a girl that in the school was extremely attractive. Like, there was a couple of guys. Like, I had a friend who once, I remember in year 9, tried to get with her by writing her a birthday card and giving it to her, face to face. And all the girls like, oh, and all the guys like, cock. It was just cringe. But anyway, I don't know. Would you say, like, I guess one of the popular girls?
I would say so.
Anyway, so he had a little bit of a. Not at this point, actually. Anyway, so we're at the party. He's sitting down, obviously at the
ex's place.
The ex's place where it's all happening. Hits him a bit too hard, maybe on the drinks a bit too much. The emotions go. Anyway, he's crying.
Yeah, understandable by the way.
Hey, men cry.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So
he's in his feels.
Exactly, he's in his feels. And then this girl comes up and starts supporting him. And I'm like, oh, that's nice of her. Like, I don't even know if they've ever really interacted that much. They start necking on. And I'm like, I in my head, I went, legend. I was like, I could not pull off hooking up with a girl who's seen me cry. I just couldn't.
Let alone at your ex's place.
Mid-cry, I couldn't do it. and not only that, you're at your ex's place. So your ex would be sitting there like, what the fuck?
So parents are upstairs as well. They're also like, the fuck?
Yeah. And it's so confusing, but it's also like, oh my God.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. Wipe the tears away. He's doing it. And then, so I could not believe that. Anyway, I thought it was like one and done thing. Mate, they now have a beautiful child together. Yeah. They're now like, they're getting married, or I don't know if they are.
I'm not 100% sure, actually. I feel like maybe. I'm not actually sure.
Well, I know they kind of live together.
Yeah, they're
good
they're in a really healthy, good relationship. Yeah. Like, it's actually worked out really well for him. Obviously for them, but for him.
And it's just like a great story. And like, obviously, as we got to know him, she was lovely. Like, it was really good. But it was just a weird scenario to like, how'd you meet? Oh, like he was crying, so I gave him a little kiss and with tongue. And where was it? I guess it sounds romantic. Oh, I was at his ex's place, and wait, what? So it's just it's a different way to meet someone, isn't it?
It really is.
But mate, it worked out. It actually was one of those. It was different groups. Like, I guess if you call her like the popular girl, it was like trying to get the popular girl.
Yeah, most definitely.
And when it worked, all of our group was like, what the fuck is going on?
You are a king. A king. I'm like...
But when
I'm drunk as fuck right now, but that is happening.
Yeah, but then as you get older, you kind of go, nah, I personally think, like, it's good karma for, like...
Oh, shit, yeah.
He was a great guy. You know, now, like, in my head, I think, oh, she's very lucky.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know what I mean?
The most
but
definitely.
when you're a younger kid, you're like, you hooked up with her?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's no way. There's no freaking way.
what are lips like? Tell
Yeah,
me.
genuinely.
But yeah, I think
Like,
they're
oh.
both very lucky for each other. He was a good dude. Yeah, the afters and just getting, I guess those massive nights, especially when you're just starting to. I guess drinking is really exciting because you don't do it often.
Yeah,
really
like for me, like I was 17 at the time.
Yeah. Do you remember when we had a house party and you like sniffed sherbet and wrapped yourself in toilet paper?
I don't think I do, no.
Oh, it was a pretty crazy night with all this sherbet up your nose.
I remember doing that. I remember like the one time at yours, actually, and me and two others bought cigars.
Oh, I remember you getting roasted.
And everyone was getting... I'm going to tell your mum, I can't believe you. Like, leave the fuck alone. I just wanted to try a cigar.
Well, you
like,
shouldn't have spoke to mate. You
and then everyone's like, you're going to get lung cancer. And I'm like... Legit had one puff, one fucking... And if I knew it was going to cause this much uproar in the fucking group, I wouldn't have fucking done it. I got so shitty.
Do you know one of the guys we're going to catch up with very soon, and I'm excited to see him. We made a whole podcast just
we did about him.
There's one I'm going to reveal, which is fantastic. And if he's listened, like sorry, I just love this story. He was again. I think we surrounded ourselves with pretty good people. Actually, he was another one that was just.
I feel like we had a really good group in high school. Man.
He was another one that was just like next level, top tier kind of guy. But we did have a very small amount of girls in our group.
Yeah.
So I felt like sometimes when one became available, there would be like 4 different people
just running a train. It was, man. It was pretty bad.
You know what? I think I like her now, actually.
She's single, yes.
So, anyway, one was single, and she mentioned that she might like this guy. And I don't think he kind of thought that was a thing. Like, he was doing his own thing. She was doing hers. And then when it came up that that's a possibility, he went, oh, really? Oh, fuck, why not? I wasn't thinking about it. But actually, we get along great. Like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
So they went to a party together, and I'll never fucking forget it. It was a surprise party for my girlfriend at the time. And it's like when you, I guess, prepare, for some reason you think that tonight's going to be insane. Like, you've prepared for it. You're like, you've gotten everything ready. Tonight's going to be great.
Life.
And because you've prepared too much and you've put so much pressure on this night
into it,
it's ruined it.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible.
It hasn't gone your way at all. It's completely backfired.
So,
it's backflipped.
I don't know if he was like in his mirror practicing some pickup lines or whatever, but he overcooked it. He really did. So he came in like in, I don't know, 007 attitude with the confidence, just too much, drank too much. She wasn't on the same level at all. She didn't want to drink. He's like, no, let's go to the bottle line. She's like, no, it's a bit of a walk. He's like, no, look at the stars. Because you know he loved the stars.
Yeah,
like,
he loves the stars. I forgot about that.
He fucking was obsessed with
boys,
them.
we'll sleep out under the stars. It's fucking cold and there's bugs. Not a chance.
Nah, boys.
No, we've got to sleep under the stars,
You
boys.
don't get it.
It's beautiful.
There is so many
There's
up there.
the Milky Way.
I can name them all. So he's like, he's trying to coax her into coming to the bottle-o with the stars, which is more for him.
Most definitely.
He keeps talking. He's making some jokes where it's like, mate, you're a real funny guy, but what's with all these misses? Like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
And then she kept drinking. I guess he'd be
And
like...
that always works.
I still remember to this day him going too far while she maybe drank one cruiser, and then as the night's going, she's like, no, I don't think I'm going to drink tonight. Actually.
Yeah.
So two completely different levels that are so off topic now. Like, just at the wavelengths, they're not together.
Yeah.
So what does he think he'll do? Drink another one? Do a front flip onto his ass in front of her.
I think I must have already put myself to bed at this stage because I remember.
Could you imagine sitting there watching your mate trying to pick up a girl and going, oh, what's he doing? And then he front flips in front of her, lands on his ass, and then he lays back in a start position and just goes.
Well, this same mate, do you remember? We had a party where we were drinking wild boars.
Oh, a bit of wild
boar. And I remember, I don't know why, because it was like 3.6 standards in one can, and there was a couple of us who were like, oh, let's see who can drink it the quickest. one guy finished his 4-pack and he looked spaced out just in his own world. I just remember being like, mate, are you good? He's like, like that. But before that happened, some of the boys had a slab, and at the bottom of the stairs, it was quite wet and slippery. This guy's like, man, I've got a slab. I'm keen as for tonight.
I remember that.
Gets to the bottom of the stairs, goes ass up, nearly hits his head, which I was like, oh, shit,
was
man.
dangerous.
I hope you're okay. But then he sluts, and he's just like, oh, bro, nah, not cool. He's like, mate, I just smashed my slab. Can you get me a slab on the way here? Mate, no worries. Mate, it's the same thing. The slab smashes again.
I do remember. Those stairs
They were really dangerous, like
dangerous.
death stairs.
It was, you know, when you walk on something very slippery and your feet like completely go out on you and you just go, oh my God, that could have been really dangerous. This was like on a decline. Like,
I remember that happened, like, it got to the point where people would purposely sit on there and they'd be like, oh, come down here, man, come for a chat, just to see someone go up.
Which is so fun.
It is, but it was funny.
Yeah,
Like,
it was good. It was so fucking funny. Oh my God.
we had some good parties back in the day
Yeah, they were. There were some actually really good ones.
and stuff like that.
I remember one night where when after the party started smoking weed a bit, I remember when I was smoking weed, I had a couple of people I'd do it with religiously.
Yeah.
Like it was just the go-to. And I had two of them. One's a Survivor superstar and the other one was like an old mate. And we're in my shed, right? And there's just this tiny shed with like carpet, like it's kind of decked
It wasn't too bad. That was pretty cool place.
special,
Like, for us to hang out at that age, it was
yeah,
good.
nothing special, but it's pretty cool to lay out some mattresses and just put like some bean bags in there.
Just sort of a vibey area, more or less.
So we get high and we get real high, and it actually felt like that shed had somehow teleported into space. When we looked out, we're just looking at the Milky Way. Old mate would have loved it, and we're looking out, and it's also felt like we're off balance. Like, so we're doing whoa, like going back and forth. Like, oh my God, whoa! And we must have been like really screaming when we were doing it, like really just so loud, and just be like, oh my God! And it's like grabbing each other, like in this just shed, pretending we're running back and forth.
Oh,
And I just hear, and obviously, I think I was only like 4 meters away from my dad's bedroom.
paper thin walls, by the way.
And I just hear, look, it is 11:30 a.m. p.m. on a Thursday night. Go to fucking sleep. Cut me out of my high so fast, and I didn't know if I was tripping or not. It fucked me up so bad.
Oh, shit. Fucking hell. I just remember always being like, I can't wait to talk to biddies.
Talk to what?
Biddies?
Biddies?
Yeah, females. I just call them biddies. I don't know why. I don't know where I got that from either.
Do you know what? You just flashed me back.
And I never ever talked to biddies.
I remember that when I moved to my last property, when we were there, we had another mate, and we were walking like the streets, and obviously I was from the Yarra Valley, so there wasn't, we weren't close to each other, but we were in, there was heaps of houses around us. It was a nice neighbourhood, so we're walking, and we walked past these like two girls, and this would have been what when we were 12, and I walked past, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, and as we walk past and they get out of earshot, you're just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. You said hi. You said hi. And I'm like acting like king shit. I'm like, yeah. And you're like, oh my fucking God. That was so good. That was so good. We get back to I'll never forget this. We get back to like my house. We're like organising snacks because obviously we're going to play video games, watch a movie or something. You're like, fuck, man. Like, it was 7:30, like, at night. Like, it's ages passing. You're just like, fuck, bro. Like, should we go back and see if they're there again? Like, it's night time.
I'll fix it.
Anything for the biddies.
Anything for the biddies.
Did we call them for some reason, that sounds familiar. Biddies.
Yeah, it should have. I think it was like in year 9
Yeah.
and all that. I remember that party as well where we were at that thing, the two randoms just like gate crashed.
Oh, yeah.
And you were chatting to them, and then I remember like all of our group were like hugging them, and you're like, can you guys like not fucking do that, please? I remember that too.
That was so awkward. I remember hooking up with one and thinking like, this is like was like my first party hookup.
Yeah.
And I just thought I was the coolest thing ever. These two girls gate crashed like just an average party.
Yeah.
Like no one's really drinking
Yeah.
or anything. And when they got there, they just go in a corner and start dancing alone, which was awkward as anything.
Oh, shit.
So then I went over, and obviously after I do that, that's when it's just awkward now. I cringe a little actually. They gate crashed. It's just like a normal party where it's not even like you can sneak in. Like I think they asked the parents if they could come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, guys, that was a bit of a nostalgia hit. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was Morokai with 2 eyes, and we'll see you in the next one. There we go. I was
Boom. I was like Elon Musk. I was thinking about what I was going to say.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.